Testosterone is one of those life fundamentals for a man. It makes everything easier, whether it's your physicality, your money, your career, your bedroom performance, your relationships, your mental health, how you feel every day. People think money is the most basic thing, or health, and yeah, health is probably the most basic thing once you're like in your 80s or something. But when you're younger, I think there's more to it than just health. And then with money, like, where does money come from? If you're not going to make much money if you've got no energy, are you? You've got no drive, no ambition, no creativity, and testosterone helps with all these. And so I'm going to get into a list of ways that testosterone makes your life easier and better as a man, which it does. Especially if you're in the 800 plus range, which is what I talk about naturally. So you're still fertile, you're not on TRT, so your fertility's still there, your sleep quality's still there, your estradiol's perfectly in range without having to take drugs, AIs, to do that. But the first way I would say that testosterone makes your life easier is that you simply have more energy. We all have the same hours in a day and days in a week as each other. We have differing levels of money, to be fair, but we have very different levels of energy. Some people are tired by 2 p.m. Some people are still going at 6 p.m. And that really adds up day by day. Think how much that's an extra 28 hours per week of quality energy, where you could be, I don't know, training, you could be building a business, you could be doing anything really. Energy is huge. It's one of the big three resources that you can use to build a better life. So that's the first one. Second one is, it makes it a lot easier to build muscle. Building more muscle doesn't really motivate me like it used to, I guess because I already have it, but I know it motivates a lot of you guys, and it sure as hell motivated me for years. And yeah, testosterone makes your gym workouts more productive, more worthwhile, less of a waste of time. So if you've only got 200 tests, you will feel like you're wasting your time in the gym because there's no results coming. And that's unfortunate, but it doesn't have to be that way. And yeah, with muscle comes more respect from other guys, which is kind of important. It's important for your self-esteem. And yeah, testosterone helps with all that. A third way testosterone makes your life easier is things like ambition and motivation, which I would say translate very nicely into career success. When you're motivated, no one's 100% of the time, obviously, but when you're motivated most of the time, as opposed to never motivated because you struggle to get out of bed in the mornings, that's a huge deal. So having that most of the time is going to make you more likely to, I don't know, have that 6-figure income or whatever it is that you're trying to do, get that promotion. If you're feeling good and motivated and energetic 5 days a week instead of 0 or 1, then you're more likely to get there, aren't you? Just by, law of probability. A fourth thing that's really cool, in my opinion, is bedroom performance. Testosterone is the sex hormone for both genders. And when you don't have enough of it, you have things like, a lot of you guys will know, no morning wood, no libido, so no drive to do it in the first place. You'll have anxiety about it, and then that starts a real loop, like a downward spiral. not being able to last as long, things like that. Tons of problems that all are rooted in hormonal deficiency. And you do need a certain amount of estradiol, and you do need to be getting enough sleep and having your cortisol within range. So it's not just testosterone, but testosterone is the first thing to look at. Another way testosterone makes your life easier is it makes it easier to sleep. Some guys have really hard time sleeping. It's because either their testosterone is too low or their DHEA is too low. I've seen that before several times. And then once that problem is fixed, once that hormone is fixed, then they start sleeping better. So it's interesting. And then you start recovering better, and then you can train more. One sec. This one is huge. This one is possibly bigger than all the others. Is discipline. Discipline in all walks of life. So, dodgy gate again. Things like controlling yourself when you get cravings. Like these impulsive guys who can't control themselves are almost always lower on the testosterone side of things, or very high cortisol. And ideal hormone optimization, ideal testosterone levels. My theory is that the dopamine levels in the brain are slightly higher at all times, so you're not trying to compensate with sweet foods or junk food or whatever, or alcohol. You're more likely to cave into those temptations when you feel like garbage, because you've got no dopamine, your hormones are off, or you're depressed or whatever. So it helps with discipline with food, it helps with discipline with work. You have more energy to be more consistent, stick to the plan. Financial discipline. So it's really, what I'm saying here is it makes you less impulsive, at least for most guys. Impulsive purchases that could set your finances back, kind of a big deal. A lot of guys try and get fancy cars to impress women, and it's just like screwing themselves over. Last minute impulse purchases that slow them down. So discipline's a big deal, and testosterone makes it easier because your brain is more optimized more often, and there's more dopamine there, and you don't feel as low. And it's when you feel low that you try to compensate with some impulse purchase or booze or sweets or whatever. So that's a huge one. Another one is more of a social thing, where it's easier to stand up for yourself. A lot of guys lack confidence or the ability to say no. Maybe you've got people who pressure you into stuff, someone at work, maybe it's a girlfriend, maybe it's a sibling. Just the ability to nicely say no is easier. It's not just a testosterone thing, but it's certainly linked. And then because of all these factors, it's easier to be attractive to women and therefore attract a woman, which I know a lot of you guys are interested in. So the discipline, the physique, the energy, the ambition, the ability to say no, all of these things will make you more attractive. I did another video recently on why most men will never be high testosterone. I'm going to link to it at the end. And I spoke towards the end of that video, I think it was, about how testosterone won't make you handsome. It's not going to do that. But it will make you more, it will change your behavior. It's the behavior that's really important. Being handsome is very powerful. Being truly confident and dominant is very powerful. That's what testosterone will change. and DHT as well. And also the bedroom performance I mentioned. Testosterone directly fixes that. I mean, that is the fix of all fixes. And so yeah, it will, from a behavioral standpoint, you'll become more attractive for many different reasons. And I think that's a big driver for a lot of guys. And so yeah, I'd say that's a huge one as well. Confidence, lack of anxiety. I'm not going to say it will make you feel invincible, but it will make you feel more like that and less low and down and depressed, which is obviously not attractive. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits to it. I believe that's 8 ways it will make your life significantly easier, better, higher quality. And yeah, so if you want to check out that video where I talk about the big indirect reason most guys will never be high testosterone, it's a little bit of an offensive video, but I think there's a lot of truth in there, and it's about priorities and perspective. You might find it really useful. A little bit offensive, but whatever.